For those of you that don't know, this is Greg Stevens, and I am so excited to be here with him today because we always try to model what we train here at C2. We're always model something, and we're going to talk about that and really dive into how Greg's business fits into the modeling that we could go after. And we wanted to take an opportunity to put the spotlight on Greg right now and give it not only him credit for the amazing things he's accomplishing, but shine light on the unique way that he's accomplishing it. So, first and foremost, Greg, thank you for being here, man. You're awesome, and you didn't have to do this. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. Uh,
Thank you, Kyle. Kevin, sorry.
Come on. I know. I am logged into Kyle's Zoom right now. I don't even have a pro account. No one signs me up for anything. I'm just kidding. No, I'm on Kyle's account right now. But thank you for being here. You absolutely did not have to. And here's where this conversation really matters today, right? Really, what we're going to try to get to the heart and soul of. There is this false notion in real estate and in all industries in general that you have to dedicate to it 100% full time or you'll never find any sort of success whatsoever. And you need to go all in, quit your job, go full time, grind 60 hours a week to get any foot traction, right? And you've proven that false straight off the bat, right? You bartend full time, or previously were bartending full time, now bartending part time. But even that time period where you were bartending full time, you closed 10 deals in a year. There are a lot of full time agents out there that don't come close to closing 10 deals in a year. And that's absolutely spectacular, right? So you did it while you were pulling shifts, working night shifts. You didn't own your schedule all the way. So we really want to shine a light on what you were doing to make it work, what you were thinking, how you were operating, etc. So that's what the main way we're going to be going over today. And we're going to be doing it under the pillars that we use, the 5 pillars that we really feel are the key point to every sort of business. So questions are going to be revolving around mindset, schedule, lead generation, lead nurture, and then conversion. And then we're going to go in and ask you some questions on each one of those factors, how you operate, what your unique approach to this real estate industry is. And for those of you that are watching today, there's a very good chance that a lot of you have similar constraints to what Greg has, in that you have limited hours in the day that you can work. You might have a day job. Your calendar isn't completely owned, meaning you don't control, hey, I'm going to be here at this time if I feel like it, no matter what, right? But Greg is proof in the pudding that success can be found. So as we continue in this process, I know we have a bunch of people on this webinar right now watching, and then a lot of people will be watching later. But if you're live watching on the webinar, please feel free to drop questions in the chat. If it's pertinent to the conversation at that time, I'll throw that question in. And if it's not, we'll have time for question and answer on at the very end. Someone says, does someone know the gentleman's name who's on with Greg? My name is
Yoda.
my name is Kevin Cesario, but it says Kyle Chernetsky on my thing because I'm on Kyle's Zoom. But that was an interesting one. So let's dive into these questions, Greg. Start off, let's a little
Absolutely.
softball here. Tell everyone who you are, where you're from, and how you ended up in real estate.
First of all, thank you, Kevin, for the opportunity. I appreciate it. So I'm from the Bay Area, originally the South Bay, Saratoga. I started in real estate in San Francisco. I was actually bartending at the time at that was my job in my 20s. And when I hit that mark at 30, I was like, this is not sustainable. I need a job that's going to bring me income and I get to design my income. So my sister was in real estate in San Francisco and she's been there for quite a long time. Excellent real estate agent. And she offered to teach me the ropes, which was a great opportunity. I started in San Francisco, one of the best private agencies there called Zephyr Real Estate. It was originally Ford Real Estate. But I was bartending at that time as well, and you'll find that theme throughout my career in a lot of different spots, utilizing the bar industry to supplement my income while I'm establishing in real estate. Did that answer the question?
That was incredibly thorough. That's
Okay.
perfect. So obviously your bartending has run side by side of your real estate career pretty much the entire time. And you're actually still bartending part-time right now. Walk us through what a normal week looks like with you juggling both the real estate career and then the bartending job as of today.
So it is difficult. I bartend at nights, and they're usually late nights, and real estate's an early start or an always start 24/7. So it's hard in those mornings. And in the beginning, I was working a lot of shifts. So it was hard for me in the mornings because I was tired and hurting, especially now. My knees starting to hurt because you stand for 8 hours. So you have to definitely pick your time and make sure you utilize the time that you're focusing on real estate to its full advantage. Is that the answer to the question, or is there more?
It does. No, that was really good. And I
Okay.
like how you really brought to light, make use of the time and bring it to your full advantage. Because a lot of us, we're all victims of this, but we'll be like, I'm working. But let's say you work 4 hours. The reality is maybe two of them were intense hours. Maybe one of them was halfway paying attention, and then 1 hour was doom scrolling. So you might have been working for 4 hours, but you really only got 2.5 hours of work accomplished. You really make sure to set aside your time and go full bore during that time period as well and get it done so you can work more efficiently with your time. I think that's a great answer to how to juggle both. Just work more efficiently and make it happen. So, Greg, let's dive into the mindset part of this, the first pillar. In 2025, you were really primarily focused on the stability of your paycheck, right? What
Yes.
changed heading into 2026 that made you recommit to real estate as your primary focus?
Just I always use the mantra trading thousands for hundreds. And then real estate, there's no real ceiling. If you go after it, you can make a lot of money. And we have a very good operation here. So I essentially set my mind to say, look, bartending is going to get me the income to supplement, but it's not my forever. And I need to focus in on real estate and the things that are important. So my main focus was the things that are going to transact. So meaning Zillow is a very important aspect of that. So I told myself if I get Zillow leads, I need to answer those calls and make time to show those. And half of them probably fall out and probably won't be serious. Half of them don't even know how to use the system, but then there's that core people that will transact. And then you've got IP, which is the gold standard. These are people who will transact, if not now, later. And they're owners of business or they're owners of real estate. So they're suffering the real estate suffrage. So eventually they're either going to want to change their investment, they're going to want to alter their investment. So you just want to nurture them and not bug them, but get in contact with them enough to where they remember you, they know your name, and make sure they understand your knowledge and where you're at, that you're an asset to them. You can assist them in what they need.
I love it. Now, a lot of people that are, we all make excuses, right? Constantly. Oh, I don't have time, whether it's for the gym, whether it's for making phone calls, whether it's doing your work, whether I don't have time is such a common excuse in everyone's life. You are time strapped because you have so much other responsibilities elsewhere. When other people are saying, I don't have time to do that, or I don't have enough time to do that, what do you instead tell yourself, knowing that you have such a busy schedule?
I have to do it. You have to lift the weights in order to get bulked up, right? So you got to do the day-to-day steps. And the most important one of those is, I think, phone calling, getting a hold of people, talking. And one thing you and Kyle stressed from the beginning is conversations, get in front of people, meetings. This is something that was very important because in order to get a escrow, you're going to have to get in front of someone. You're going to have to meet with them. And whatever skittish you are about talking with people, calling them on the phone, or getting in front of them, you need to put that aside because that's bullshit. Go for it because that's the only way you're going to make money. And it's important to get in front of people and to talk to people about real estate.
I love what you first said. Your first thing out of your word, your initial reaction was like, well, I have to do it because it's the fundamentals. You can take the option away from yourself of, oh, let me give myself an excuse so I can make reason with myself, the mental gymnastics to get out of this thing that I don't want to do. It's like, no, this is no longer an option. This is who I am. This is what I do. It's part of my daily routine. And removing it is like saying, I'm going to remove breathing out of my day. It's just
Yeah.
something I have to do to succeed. I love that mindset, Greg. That's awesome. Was there a moment over the course of the last year in 2026 where you've been going so heavy into real estate focus and away from the bar job? Is there a moment where you almost quit or you almost scaled back where it became too much for you?
The real estate aspect. There was a couple weeks where we deal with a lot of rejection. And there was a week where it was just bang, bang, boom. You lost a listing, or not lost a listing, but lost out on a listing. Had a couple buyers walk away from me, work with another agent, which hurts. And then a couple of Zillow leads that didn't pan out. And I was just like, this is just too much. And then I caught myself and said, this is the business. If you can't deal with rejection, then you need to get out because it is a rejection business. Now, there are ways to insulate from that. And it is proving that you are an asset to the people you're talking to.
What I mean, this is off my daily script or my question script right now. What is a way that you find is the best way to get over that rejection, that hurt from the industry that's naturally bound to find all of us?
Hit that phone and call again, call the next people, push that aside and say, I don't have control over everything, but I do have control over the next person I'm going to contact. So I'm going to go after them.
I love that. I always, if I lose one, I'm just going to immediately turn my attention to another one and chase him. Let's not be slow down and stop and cry. Let's just keep chasing the ball. You'll catch one of them eventually, but I don't even give myself enough time to get sad. I'm just like on to the next.
You don't have enough. You got like 80 listings.
Not always. It comes and goes.
I know,
But
I know.
again, dude, with more listings comes more. You always joke around. I'm not going to make that joke right now. Sometimes not all listings are happy. Not all clients are happy at all times.
That's
And
true.
sometimes more listings just mean more people that are disappointed with you, even if it's not your fault and that's the market in general. So
And
good.
it's rarely.
Exactly. Oh, how many people can I disappoint today? No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to go about that. All right, Greg, you're constantly at the top of the leaderboard on Follow Up Boss. Where does that drive come from? How did you come about deciding to be that person that's leading from the front?
Shout out to you and Kyle. Essentially, let's just say before I was at a company in San Jose and then I was adrift kind of in the vast ocean. And I found you guys and you had this awesome system and you provided lead generation, you provided coaching, and you provided CRM, which is unheard of in many different brokerages I've worked with. Wait, what was the question again, Kyle? I'm sorry.
Why are you following? Why are you always ending up at the top on Follow Up Boss?
Sorry. So it's mandatory. If you're going to get a transaction, you're going to need to stick with your day-to-day reach outs. And with the CRM, it's been a struggle for me to get rid of all the dead non-transacting people and to focus in on the people that I want. And it's a slow turnaround of a bus, essentially, is how I look at it. And I'm still turning the bus around to utilize the CRM in the best way. And in order to stay on top, you've got to keep hitting the calls. You got to reach out to the PPCs, the for rent by owners. You just got to stay in that process, and you got to continue to contact the people that you're already in contact with. That's super important as well. And then it's also important not to be stalking them, but to call them in a manner where it's not too much.
So you made another reference on there where you just right off the cusp said it's mandatory. I think I'm seeing a reoccurring thing in this mindset thing. You're taking the process of decision of, hey, should I do it or not? And
Yeah.
completely eliminating that decision because the decision's pre-made for you. I will do it every time. I love that mindset. Taking the guesswork out of it. No, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to do. That's a great answer, Greg. And that really fits into that mindset side of things. What do you say to someone who thinks they need to go full time before they can actually take real estate seriously?
Take real estate seriously, regardless how much time you have. It is serious and it's going to make you money if you continue to focus and do the things. We have a lot of opportunity with this company, with this group. You've got ponds to reach out to, you've got emails, you've got meetings that the Yodas of the world share their expertise. You've got Zillow leads headed in, and you got the gold standard IPs. It is not hard to make a transaction out of all that stuff. You just need to utilize your time purposely.
Which is the perfect segue into the next pillar that we're going to be discussing, schedule. So, walk me through an actual week behind the bar and behind the phones. Where does real estate fit in? What does your week look like in terms of schedule?
So real estate's my primary goal, my main focus, and that would be a day would start with real estate. If I bartended the night before, maybe usually a little bit later in the morning, but sometimes I'll have to wake up and just wipe the dust off and start the day. So it's looking at your inbox and it's looking at your goals. And I like to have a to-do list, even though I don't do it every day. But I'm definitely hitting the phones daily, whether it's prospecting or reaching out to past buyers or inbox zero, you're on that phone getting something done. And then you want to maybe take a half hour to prepare yourself for what's next, which is bartending. And it could be insane, especially the place I'm at now. It is a crazy bar. They have concerts and all that kind of stuff. So it's a very active bar. And it's hard because when you're bartending, it's almost like you're on stage. You're entertaining a little bit. You got to talk with people and interact with them, which is fun, but you've also got a thousand other things to do. And if you get behind, you're screwed for the rest of the night. So it's piecemealing your time. It's time management, essentially, on both fronts.
Now, this is kind of off my question script as well, but you're dealing with people in the general public a lot in the bar scene and in the real estate sales team side of things. Scene. Does that fill your cup? Does it drain you? And how do you refill your cup if you are finding yourself drained?
Vacations, I love touring. I love traveling. So I've got a picture of a sailboat and then I got Greece on the wall and I look at that and say, that's my goal right there. So I'm going to get there. And the only way I can is if I get to it. Bartending can be very draining, not only physically, but mentally. And I've dealing with that is rough. I've had experience doing it over 3 decades now, so it's a little easier. But the mental drain mostly comes from bartending. Real estate, it's fun. And even when you get rejections, that's them, they're gone. The next person's coming on down the line.
Would you say visualizing your goals and seeing the picture of the boat and the grease and that kind of stuff helps you on your day to day get up and keep it with that, hey, this is not optional, this is mandatory attitude?
Absolutely. I have a bunch of things in front of me. Most important one is the one my wife made in red, very big letters. It says, shut the fuck up and listen. And that is the most important mantra I've ever had because sometimes I'm trying to impress these people and I'm talking and I'm not listening. And it's important to listen and just give them their space because whatever the conversation's going to happen after that, it's going to happen through that flow, listening and then picking your moments.
I love that. I freaking love that. This is all gold. This is going to all show up on Kyle's Instagram here momentarily. So breaking the fourth wall a little bit. That was really good, Greg. All
Thank
right,
you.
back to my scheduled questions. What time of day are you usually doing your lead generation and follow up? What within your schedule, do you have a set time? Is it, hey, well, a couple minutes after wake up, or is it, hey, I'm hitting up at this time block per day, or how does that work?
For prospecting, I will
Yeah.
choose different times of days because people come in at different times. If I have the night off, I will definitely try after hours because that's the time people answer the phone. And I know a lot of people think, oh, I'm not going to call past 6 o'clock because I don't want to bother them. You're bothering them anyway. You are providing a service and you are valuable. So you got to remember that. So prospecting can happen in different pockets. Reaching back out to people with the CRM, that's important to do daily. And I'm still training myself to fix the CRM and work it the right way. So when I get those signals that I need to reach out to someone, that actually means something. Right now, it doesn't because I'm piling everything. I need to piecemeal it and make that happen. Use the CRM the way it needs to be used. And I'm still training myself to do that. Last night was a perfect opportunity. Didn't do anything but went through all my leads and read it. It took me 6 hours, not to go through all of them, by the way, but to find the ones that this person's done. I don't need to contact them, but you need to read through that stuff. And then you need to look at what they're reading. So the emails that they open, I've noticed when I have some information that provides them good information instead of just a random email, they definitely read those most of all.
I think that CRM management is always a work in progress, right? We can always get better. But God, once you get there and once you get into the flow state with the CRM, everything else just falls into place naturally. It's just the backbone, the organizational structure of a nice, solid sales business, no matter the industry. Now, have you ever had to say no to shifts or trade shifts or anything like that to protect your real estate hours, knowing that you're working for two different jobs right now?
Absolutely. Priority is real estate. My place has concerts and they want me on all concerts. And this last week they called me on Sunday for ZZ Top and Cheap Trick, and I really wanted to go. But I had a listing meeting the next day, and I didn't want to be tired and I didn't want to be depleted. I wanted to get good night rest. And that's walking away from $500 because concerts, it's crazy. But then it's grueling crazy too, because you got 1,000 people asking 1,000 things and they all want their drink at the same time. And they all say they came first, and you got to deal with that. So you do have to set aside certain things because real estate is the most important aspect. This is where you're going to make six figures. You're not going to do that in any other industry that we're utilizing to work in both, if that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. And you gave up the top, huh,
What
man?
That's one band I haven't seen live too, and I really wanted to see it, but I just couldn't.
That's tough. All right, let's say somebody watching today only had 5 to 10 hours a week to dedicate to real estate. How would you tell them to spend it?
Wow, that's a great question. One thing I've been making better use of, or let's say them better at, is finding the people that are going to transact and getting rid of the people that aren't and making sure you're in front of the people that will transact. And that's a gut kind of decision. It's an educated guess, but it's a smart guess. So focus on them. Definitely hit those phones because if you only got that amount of time, and let's say you're shy on the phone, no one cares. You got to remember this. If you're shy on the phone, no one cares. You're not important to these people until you make yourself important to them. And that's when you're going to transact with them. So definitely use your time wisely. And the CRM is a perfect option. It helps you. It takes away hours. Like before, when I worked without a CRM, I felt like I was in the woods. With the CRM, it really just, here you go. Here's the things you can do. So I guess the short answer be, and it's too late for that, but the short answer would be hit the phones, get in front of these people, start talking.
Let's pivot over to the lead pillar now. You're
Mhm.
strong with both investment partner and Zillow. Break down why you've doubled down on both of those two.
Yeah, first of all, Zillow, these are active buyers coming at you. You lose on commission because you have to help, you have to share it with them. You gain, and you're actually working with people who want to do business. And this is where you're going to get commissions. It's where you're going to get escrows. And this is where you're going to utilize to pile on top of that for now. I have some money and some income and some past sales. I can go after those listings. As Max has mentioned before, listings are the most important way and the way to keep your business going and strong. It's a great quote. Go after those listings and start marketing. Listings are important. But Zillow's really, thing about Zillow at first, it took me a while to get my legs under me, but then I realized don't get mad at the people who ghost you or won't transact or using the system the wrong way. And it happened. That's why we have the number system and they have their percentages. You do book multiple, which I did once I started really some success with Zillow. I was booking these appointments like one day I showed six people like properties and just went from city to city and knew which ones I was going to transact with. And then once your numbers go up in Zillow, you start getting really good leads. The last two I just closed, these are two clients. I showed them one home and they went in contract on both of them. So that was awesome.
That's incredible.
Um,
One
yeah.
shot, one kills is the best.
Oh my gosh. And I was so stoked. I was like, if I get these both on the same, it was like 2 days. I was like, wow, that was really awesome. And that's very rare, but awesome. And there are those people who definitely want, that's what they want. That's why they're using Zillow. They want to purchase.
I love that.
As far as IPs, that's your gold standard. This is something no other real estate company is doing. People who want to rent. So you get to develop a relationship and you get to develop trust with them and you get to have a reason to call them over and over and establish your worth. And these people, like us, they're eventually going to transact. And the easiest thing to do is to try to sell them on, get out of single family, get into multifamily. And there you have two transactions right away.
Yeah. You rarely get any sort of clawbacks or anything along those lines with your investment partner
Yeah.
referrals. are you doing differently on that first call or the meeting? Like, how are you forging such deep relationships with these IP leads?
Listening to what they're saying and then trying to model or like you guys mentioned before is try to reflect, try to give back how they're flowing to you. Um, Utilizing those moments to show your worth. And when they call you and they're stressed out, because these people are stressed out, this specific situation. They don't have control over it. They want a management company because they don't have time. So you know that right away. Probably not making a lot of money if it's single family, probably not making any money. And over time, they're thinking, is this even worth it? So, like Max said, and Max is killing it with those listings. These are listing appointments, either
Mhm.
now, tomorrow, or 2 years from now. They're definitely going to be clients and they know you. So you have a perfect opportunity. You're not making a short little commission on them right away, which is awesome. It's a side hustle. This is, I think, the gold standard, really.
Well, we like to joke around the investment partner isn't just a deal, it's like a database builder, right? You're building these
It is.
relationships with homeowners or investors or people that are accidental landlords that are looking to sell. Me through what it's like building your database with those homeowners, investors over time. Like, what do you do to kind of out and build out that database?
So, let them know from the beginning, I'm do it different at CNC, or they do it different at CNC, is how I say it now. Bring me in as your real estate agent because I have a fiduciary responsibility to you, even against the management company. So I'm trying to get your best rate. So right there, you're kind of forcing a bond with them that they know you're fighting for them. To utilize your reach outs. So, send them an email, send them a text. You don't always need to call them, but try to stay in front of them. Try to get information to them at least once a month. I try to reach out to every 3 months with a phone call just to say, hey, how is everything going? Tell me what's going on, this, that, and the other. Because you're want to make them know that you're their person and you're there to provide not only real estate services, but an ear to listen to their griping.
So on the Zillow side, you're strong
Hmm.
with both the buy and the sell side, but it seems like you're
Correct.
especially strong with the seller leads. What's your approach when a Zillow lead comes in?
So I reach out to them if it's a seller lead. Do a little research on their property before, not a lot, just to get to know what it is and what it's about. And I'll call them and do the Zillow thing. I'm one of Zillow's premier sales listing agents. They wanted me to reach out to you specifically, so I'm trying to. Zillow clients don't know what they're pressing, and they don't get a lot of vetting on the front end. So trying to establish that I'm a premier Zillow agent and I'm up here at a tier. They're specifically asking me to decide my precious time to reach out to you, and I'm kind of trying to make that impression. And I'm saying, look at your options. This isn't a listing meeting. This is a discovery meeting. We got to figure out what's going on, and definitely we'll come up with solutions.
I love that. On my Zillow ones, well, who are you? Are you the listing agent? No, I
Yeah,
just specialize in this price point and this market. I'm kind of best in the area, so Zillow naturally paired me with you. Boom, something along
bingo,
those
right
lines.
there.
And then when you talk about going into the seller appointment and like, I'm in the person that's going to find all your answers. I'm going to fix all your problems. Let's just figure out exactly where you are in the situation, and then I'll just go ahead and piece it apart and make it happen. I love that approach, Greg. That's A plus all the way around.
Yeah,
So
you're the one who taught me that. You're the one who said, just go in and listen. You're not. I used to think I need to bring all this stuff and have a presentation, all that all aside. You're just there to listen.
yeah, literally all I want to do. I just want to go in there and listen and be like, oh,
Yeah.
well, you've laid out 10 problems. Here's my 20 solutions. Which one seems the best to you or what have you, that regard?
Hey, that brings up a good point. When you don't have a solution, say, I don't have an answer for you now, but I'm going to get you one.
Yeah. You're just fixing their problems because that's really all they want. And they
That's
want to
all we do.
like you. Let's kick over to that lead nurture side of the pillar. An investment partner lead isn't ready to transact. How do you stay in their world without eating to your limited time? Because obviously you do only have limited time of the day and places to be and jobs to get to.
So I create emails, texts that I utilize ChatGPT to, mount something every now and again. I try to call them at least if they said no, I'm not ready right now. So I'll call them probably every month, maybe every 3 weeks. These people will forget. They don't in your head where you're thinking, oh, I'm so dynamic that they want to work with me. No, they don't. They hear 1,000 calls a day. So try to stay in front of them and then try to make sure you call them and get a hold of them. Voice messages is not great. If you have to leave a voice message, just send a text, but try to talk to them. Eventually, they'll listen to you. They're all worried about what they're going to pay out, but what you try to make them focus on is how great we are at our specific things, which is you in general as an IP. That's your worth, definitely, with a property management person.
What does your follow-up look like on a week-to-week basis? You mentioned every 3 or so weeks. Like how do you kind of your follow-up plan with these people?
So I'll set tasks depending on how I feel about the conversation and that specific person. Sometimes I don't follow through with those tasks because, like I said, the CRM is this big giant bus I'm trying to move around to work in the right way. So sometimes those will go untouched, but I'll pick days in a week, sometime when I have some time to look over all my leads and really kind of need to visualize this and set everything else aside and go, these are the people I need to focus on. So I need to read what's going on with them. You need to remind yourself who they are, and you'll find a way to, okay, well, this right here, they emphasize. So let's focus on that this week. And then I'll call them and say, look, there's a wasting,
Yeah.
vacancy rates.
Do you have any deals this year that happened where from people that months past previously told you I'm not ready yet?
Yeah, a Zillow lead that went like a March touring, and I kind of said, "Hey, I'd love to work with you. Let's move forward." And he was just like, "Whatever, I don't want to." And then, touched base with him, texted him, not a lot, but every other week or so. And then out of the blue, he just calls me and says, "I want to look at this property in Turlock." And I was like, "Sweet." I thought this guy was gone. I didn't think he wanted to transact. And they say is not necessarily what they mean because people have moods or people are in different moods and people are thinking in different thoughts. Just remember, as long as you stay a hold of them, as long as you're persistent, you'll be able to get them on a time when they do need you. It's like watching a commercial on TV. If you see a commercial, you need something, and that commercial says that that's something you need, you're going to go after it right then. So it's timing is important.
100%. So just take
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
shots because you never know
Stay
when
at
they're
it.
going to land. So what's the biggest mistake you see other agents make? Lead goes quiet.
That think that that's not an important lead anymore, that the person that's not going to transact this and the other. It's not going to take you but 5 minutes to look at that lead and send them at least something. So what is it going to bother you? It's just a little time away to get them something, get in front of them somehow.
I think five
Um,
minutes is even a little high. I'm
it is hot.
seconds just to do something.
Create some texts and emails that are specific to IP and Zillow and send those out. And when they're already made, boom, that's just a push of a button. It's very easy to do. And those silent leads are actual leads. Unless they tell you to go to hell. And even when they do tell you that, you can reach back out to them in 6 months and they'll forget that they told you that.
100%. Now, do you have a system with this follow-up in terms of what you're writing and how you're following up, or is it just instinct person to person at this point?
A lot of it's instinct, but I am trying to establish a system. And like I said, it's the long bus CRM that I'm turning around, and that might not complete that process until December of next year. But I'm definitely making a point to get a system rolling because the system is important, especially with time management.
Systems are amazing, but there is this sales is not only paint by numbers. There is some
No,
skill and instinct involved in that too. You got to live a little bit in that flexible time period of like, hey, it just doesn't feel right, or this doesn't, maybe I will push this person back 2 days to talk to them or pull it forward. Like, you do need to rely on that instinct a little bit too. But having the system in place obviously keeps it organized so it's not just all instinct. It leaves a lot of money on the table.
I'm absolutely true. Because what I'll do with the specifically is I'll read what's been transact, and maybe they don't need a reach out at that time, so I'll kick them down the road, and that'll help bring my inbox to zero. So
Yep.
only send stuff that you think is important to someone who's possibly going to transact in the next few months.
Or just don't even talk about real estate with some like,
Yeah.
hey, I heard there was a concert in your neighborhood last week. Did you go? Like just like even some little bullshit. right? Just
Yeah.
front of mind. You know what I mean? All
Yeah.
right, let's kick over to conversion right now, right? Because you are obviously a master at conversion, closing 10 this year. That's a big old number. Walk
hmm
me through your first conversation with a new Zillow seller. What are you doing to build trust quickly?
Just to express to them what I'm here to do for them. I'm here to listen to you and assist you. I want to hear your situation because that way I can create solutions for your problems. One where this lady, I said the wrong thing. I said, "What? I to hear what's going on with your situation," and she started telling me about her divorce and all the crazy stuff, and she was really nervous, and she thought that I knew previously, and I just chose the wrong language. So get in front of them and express to them in the short amount of time that you're here to bring solutions to their problems. Mainly, most important thing, listening, not selling. I don't do and don't talk about is I'm here to represent you and purchase or sell of your property. I work around that and I just try to input language that implies that, if that makes sense.
I think that makes a ton of sense. Yeah. Joke around like the salespeople are like an anaconda because it's not an ambush predator, but
That's a great one.
next thing you know, just right around your leg,
Yeah,
sold to, and I didn't even realize I was sold to.
that's a great analogy.
Tell me this, because your time is limited, do you ever feel more pressure to close efficiently or has that changed in how you run your appointments?
There is a sense of urgency. I wouldn't say efficiently, but there is a sense of, it's valuable. You need to at least inform yourself of where it's going to be at. You don't want to push too much, right? You don't want to have clause, but you do want to establish an importance of is this person going to transact and how can I get them into that place without, there.
Just because we've been on the listing conversation train the last couple questions, what has your listing presentation changed? And you insinuated this earlier from your first year in the industry to where you are now as a seasoned vet. Like, what's the big difference in your listing presentation? Can you kind of give an example of that?
Confidence. Firstly, it was a disaster. I didn't know what to do. I was scared and timid, and oh my God, this big giant thing. And it was in San Francisco, and these people are all very savvy. Now there is no presentation. I have the knowledge of the property, the comps. I don't even get into that. I just listen to what they're saying. I have certain pillars that I hit on, like marketing, important, how I'm let know that I'm the person who's going to transact this property. I have, people background that are going to handle my open houses, who are going to do my marketing, who are going to call people. I let them know that I'm the guy you're going to get in this listing, and I'm going to door knock. I'm going to call people. The one thing we have that a lot of agents don't have, let's say at PMZ or other things, is we've got databases and we make phone calls. So I tell these people, I'm going to actively find a buyer for you. I'm not just going to throw it on the MLS and throw out some mailers and wait for people to come to me. I'm going to actively pursue buyers for your property. And I have a huge database of investors in the area and people who are looking to buy. So with me, you're going to get not only me as an agent, like every other agent, but I have an extra, extra sauce. Did that
Now,
answer?
answer the question. That answers
Okay.
the yeah, you answered like three or four of my questions, so I get to skip ahead now. So that was perfectly done. Um, has bartending job ever come up with a client, and did that work for you or against you?
I try not to let them know I'm doing it because I want them to know I'm 100% with them. It probably negatively, I think, if I brought up that I'm a bartender. I try to because I'm a realtor and I am a realtor. So that's my main focus. Bartending is something I utilize to supplement my income.
I love that. All right, as we kind of wind on this webinar, I have a couple questions, and if for the of you that are watching, if you do have questions, feel free to throw them out as well. But if someone's been listening, is telling themselves they don't have enough time to build a real estate business, what would you tell them?
Yes, you do. You can start from the scraps on the floor. Build real estate isn't this one thing, it's this huge thing, and many different nuances and many different professionals successful in many different ways. Find your music that sings to you and with that rhythm.
I,
You
I love that, Greg. I love that answer.
thank
What's
you.
one habit that's made the biggest difference in hitting your 10 closings this year?
Actually, no, Zillow leads. Most of those were Zillow. So booking those Zillow appointments was very, very, and releasing that time that I coveted, right? Before I was coveting that time, so I wasn't doing that. Then I opened up the gates and boom, all of a sudden success.
There's a saying in sports that the best ability is availability.
Yep.
So, necessarily the being the fastest, strongest, biggest, etc., doesn't do you anything if you're sitting on the sidelines or not showing up to the game. Best availability is availability, and that kind of seems like that runs ear to or line to line with what you just said.
And
Um,
here's the thing, it's not terrible. We're driving to a home and showing it. It's kind of a cool gig.
it's a
And
super
we
cool
get,
gig.
yeah, it's not bartending, it's not pouring drinks and have 1,000 people yelling at you, right? Or trying to
Mhm.
entertain people. We have a pretty good gig. We should spend more time doing it.
Now you're known to be super supportive of the teammates and somebody that's always like, and really positive energy. Why does that matter to you? Even when you're grinding through your own numbers, why is it important to be such a good team member to you?
Um, uh, Back, we have such a great system for all you newbies and people who've been here for a short time. I love C2. I love everything that Kyle and Kevin give to us, all the opportunities that we have. And I've been adrift, man. I've been in this business for 22 years in places where I never even talked to my broker, and they're in San Diego, and I'm adrift, kind of doing my own thing. We have a really great opportunity. We have a CRM, right? We have ponds that we can call. We have meetings that we share. We have Zillow leads. We have IP leads. I want to give back because I've been given back, given. I'm here to help anyone. I got a lot of knowledge. I'm happy. I love kind of working people's problems too, but mostly I want to be a part of it. This is something that's important to me. And it was a gift when I came here because I was adrift. I was lost at sea, and then I found the C2 lifeboat, and it's helped. It's improved my business and me, essentially as a realtor.
Desiree asks, other than Zillow, are you building your from scratch the property management business, then prospecting them? How do you manage your time taking service calls? Uh, I can answer that question for Greg as well, but Greg, you can chime in on this as well. It's a with CNC Property Management where CNC Property provides leads and can provide if they sign up for property management, but you maintain the connection with said lead. So Greg does not run a property management business. Greg meets property management prospects and then buys and sells them homes. So there's a completely different thing altogether on that.
And that's it. You team up with your client, even against CNC. I mean, wink, won't force CNC.
Yeah. So Greg, next for you, what are you thinking about? You could think about going full time, or does this pace work? What's the horizon?
Oh, definitely full time. I've been dropping out shifts quite a bit. I'm going to be not bartending very soon because it's to focus what time you have with your business. And this business has got a lot of nuances that you've got to, social is my biggest weakness, and I need to start focusing in on that and marketing. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna quit my job sooner than.
Uh, what would you tell yourself a year ago, right before 2026 started, if you could go back in time and talk to that person? Uh, what would you say?
Um, I would see your CRM working in the right fashion sooner. It's
Okay.
important. It's been a big task for me to get in the right direction. So do that sooner.
Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to, your team, your family, anyone who made any of this possible for you in this, for your amazing career?
My wife has been a very sorry, I get choked up. She's been very supportive, and we've had some struggles last 3 years or so. So she's very important. Shout out to you and you guys created such a great niche for all of us. I love our C2 get-togethers. Those are so much fun. I went to Fargo this year. What a great trip that was. So shout out to what you've provided us, you know?
Well, that was supposed to be a pat on my back. That was
I know,
shout
I
out to
know.
your wife. It was really weird they were going for that. And
No, I know. It's true. I mean, you've given us a pretty good operation. If for the newbies who are out there, this is something you're not going to find anywhere else.
Greg, final, where can people find you if they want to connect with you, work with you, learn from you, etc.?
Right here, school, my phone number. Give me a call. I'm happy to, help with needs.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Greg, I appreciate you taking the time today, dude. I think you crushed it. I think you absolutely
Oh,
crushed it. I
thank
think
you,
you
Kevin.
had some amazing insight. I think you said so many little sound clips where I was just in my mind thinking, like, I guarantee that goes on social media. So you're awesome. Your career is just on fire. We're so excited to see where you take this, uh, because you're animal.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Kevin.
All right,
Appreciate all you guys too. Everyone have a good one.
later, guys.